Following the hunger, hyperinflation, and general hardship faced by Nigerians since Tinubu came to power, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said that there is nothing that shows that Tinubu has the capability to solve the problems faced by Nigerians. In a statement he released through his media aide, Paul Ibe, Atiku said, quote, "There were certainly challenges before now. That's why you were given the mandate. We know so many things were done wrong under Buhari. The economy went into recession twice under the last APC administration because it knows nothing about economics. Nepotism, corruption were at a high. Whatever Buhari did wrong, we are seeing a higher dimension under Tinubu. What we are witnessing today is Buhari Pro Max. Divisions under Buhari have become craters under this government. How can the cost of basic food items come down when farmers can still not go back to their farms due to insecurity? Look at all the drama over the Dangote'sRefinery. We had thought by now our domestic needs will be met and exports will generate the much needed foreign exchange for our development, but here we are asking questions. What is going on? Did this administration enter into any partnership with foreign interests to ruin this investment?" Unquote. This is Atiku's response to Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu's media aide. He claimed that the price of food items have been coming down, which means the food inflation is going down. Well, Atiku Abubakar is right. From day one, Tinubu proved to Nigerians that he is not capable of solving problems. Rather, he knows how to create more problems. He turned an already bad situation worse. Yes, under the Buhari administration, they mismanaged the economy so bad that we had 2 recessions. He borrowed trillions of naira from the central bank. Under Tinubu, in less than 2 years, he has borrowed more than 10 trillion naira. He recently sent a bill to the National Assembly to increase the lending limits of the so-called means and ways. That means he is increasing his capacity to borrow from the central bank, despite the fact that the central bank governor said that the federal government is responsible for the food inflation and the overall inflation we have in Nigeria because of the excessive borrowing through their means and ways. So it shows that he's not capable of solving any problem. He's just there to borrow, to tax, no direction. Tinubu also has taken nepotism to a whole new level. When Buhari started on this path when he came to power, the excuse then by his associates was that he was looking for competent people, and he has the prerogative to get the competent people from any ethnicity, despite the fact that it is against federal character. Federal character in Nigeria is like affirmative action in the United States. The federal character law requires the president or any appointing officer to make sure that all the people they are appointing represent the many ethnic groups in Nigeria. You can't just be picking from one ethnicity or from one region. The federal character ensures that the appointments are balanced among the many ethnicities that make up Nigeria. But this man has been appointing people from his own region alone in most sensitive positions. And it is obvious to Nigerians that it is not because of competence that he is appointing these people. In fact, a majority of the people he worked with when he was the Lagos State governor are currently working with him. And look at the way they are managing Nigeria's economy. Look at how high the inflation is. Look at the exchange rate. Even as bad as Buhari mismanaged the economy, his team are still better than what we have now. At least Buhari and his team understood the fact that you do not remove petrol subsidy or increase the price of petrol at the same time you float the naira, which is another word for saying devaluation of the naira. Buhari understood this. He also understood that you do not impoverish your people. It is more difficult to govern poor people, people who have nothing to lose. It is very, very dangerous. During the nationwide hunger protests, some groups were shouting that they rather die on the streets protesting, even from bullets, than die at home of hunger. So these types are very desperate. They have nothing to lose. That's why they were flying Russian flags. All they want is a solution to their immediate problems. They don't care if it leads to chaos or not. They don't care if a foreign power capitalizes to destabilize the country. They simply don't give a damn because they have nothing to lose. How do you make a greater part of your population to have something to lose if there is chaos? It is by creating prosperity. It is by making sure that everyone is a stakeholder, not isolating people, not saying that these particular groups are the only people you give appointment because it is your turn. It is your prerogative to choose anyone you want. Therefore, you can abuse your powers and concentrate the appointment on a few states in Nigeria as if others are not part of the country. So he is a divisive individual. He cannot unite Nigerians. He only thinks of himself, his interests, and his associates. No country can develop this way. That's why we have chaos everywhere. And the worst part is that when people were protesting that they are hungry, that they need something to eat, that they want price of goods to fall so that it will become affordable like it used to be just a year ago. In January, February last year, most of the food items were very, very affordable. People weren't protesting. People weren't crying like they are crying today. Instead of addressing the problems and the demands of the protesters, he came down hard on them, sent police to disperse them by force, as if protesting is not part of democracy. Protests are part of democracy. It's not a crime to protest. Even in your family, your kids, your wife can disagree with you. That's a form of protest.
The biggest mess created was actually the devaluation of the naira from 460 to 1,400.
Under this administration is the first time in Nigeria's history that we are seeing billionaires protesting and complaining against the government. The other day it was Dangote and his friend Otedola joined him. Of course, Otedola didn't protest directly against Tinubu. After all, he doesn't have all the kind of investments that Dangote has in Nigeria. Today, it is Tony Elumelu who is demanding from the government to show Nigerians who are stealing the oil. He also complained of how the Buhari administration denied him the right to purchase an oil block. So it shows that the country has been captured by a few individuals, and these people are very arrogant about it. That's why they are joking about hunger. A hungry man is an angry man. If your population is not well fed, that's already a huge sign that there will be chaos. Whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, it is sure to come. Of course, the protesters have said that they will hit the roads again on October 1st. That the last one was just testing the microphone. The second time they will troop out in their numbers, that they will shake this country. So even military administrations in the past understood that in order to stay in power successfully without any opposition from the masses is to make sure that things are easy for them. The only opposition you will have is from the elites, maybe human rights organizations and lawyers and a few individuals. This happened under Abacha when he was trying to transform himself from a military man to a civilian president. He got the 5 political parties to adopt him as their sole presidential candidate. People were holding rallies for Abacha, like the youths earnestly yearned for Abacha and other organizations at the time. The major opposition Abacha had at the time was from the elites and some human rights organizations and a few lawyers. Of course, Nigeria was under serious sanctions from the West because of the military rule. So if a military regime understood the advantages of making life easy for the population, how about a civilian regime that should know better? So this is the situation Nigerians find themselves in, and the only justifiable reason things are still hard, that they can't solve the problem, is because they are benefiting from it. They control the import of petroleum products to Nigeria and as well petrol subsidy payments. So Nigerians asking them to reduce the price of petrol means it will affect their earnings. Despite the fact that the crude oil belongs to Nigerians, as well the subsidy payments, but they have hijacked everything. They are now dictating the price, dictating how it will be sold, dictating everything. To the extent that the $20 billion Dangote refinery is being demarketed and denied crude oil supply. Their interest comes first before the national interests. So this is the summary of why there is serious hardship in Nigeria right now, until Nigerians break the monopoly. The few people that have captured everything in Nigeria will continue complaining and protesting. Maybe election wouldn't even be able to solve the problem, because many are quick to say, wait till 2027, wait till this, wait till that. It's because you people lost the election, it's because you did that and did what. They have captured virtually everything. INEC, the courts, police, everything have been captured. So elections might not be able to solve the problem, but time will tell. Thanks for watching.